Hey, I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about my hometown team, the Carolina Panthers, man. I'm going to give you the truth about Jake, the truth about Smitty. I don't know if many of you saw that video when Steve Smith was mic'd up, and that thing was a work of beauty. When your receiver and the leader of that team, because after that video, I can truly say that Steve Smith really is the leader of that team, and he's grown into that leadership role, man. I'm here in North Carolina. I've watched this team. I've watched the relationship that Steve and Jake have developed. I've watched how Steve has grown as a person, even after some public incidents that weren't that great, real bad for PR. You had to punching Ken Lucas out. But that video with him encouraging his teammates, after interception after interception after interception, encouraging them not to quit, tell them that they're angry, take it out on him. The little chat with Jake, because Jake was feeling bad. And I'm going to get on Jake and talk about Jake in a minute too, because that's a whole subject that has the whole state of North Carolina, especially the Charlotte area, just up in an uproar. Yeah, people are ready to revolt because Jake had a bad game in the playoffs, a terrible game, the worst game I've ever seen a quarterback have in a playoff situation. Then he come back the first game of the season and just really stink it up bad. So now, where do you go from here? Now, after that exchange with Steve Smith, I have a little more tolerance for Jake, man, because Jake's a good guy. He's a good person. And it's good to see that Steve is still behind him because that's going to play an important role in how he plays this weekend in Atlanta. But you know what? John Fox is very loyal, and the guy took him to a Super Bowl, played real well in the Super Bowl. I remember Jake's first game when he came in. I was watching that game. As a matter of fact, I see Ricky Prohl pretty often here in Greensboro. But he threw that pass to Ricky Prohl to win that game, man, with no time left in the end zone, about 16 seconds left. I mean, that was one of the best comeback wins I've ever seen. Because at the time, Rodney Peete couldn't do anything, and when they brought Jake in, we were down. And Jake played a game, man. He played a game. He had a good season. That may have been the same season he went to the Super Bowl, but so that's in Fox's mind. I know that got Fox to where that loyalty is there, but Jake, he has to do better. He has to. There's no choice. He's a good guy, but in order for this team to win a Super Bowl, because that's the goal, is to win a Super Bowl, they're going to have better quarterback play. And if Jake is capable of doing that, he needs to show it this week. If he's not capable of doing that, even though Fox and company just gave him an extension, which I don't clearly understand, then he needs to be a backup. I mean, he was a backup in New Orleans, backing up Aaron Brooks, so it may be back to backup if Jake don't get it together this week. But Carolina still in the hunt. It's one game. I was really encouraged by what I saw from Steve Smith. My team, first team, is the Titans, and then I pull for the hometown team. But I really was encouraged by Steve Smith's attitude because as the leader of that team, he's going to set the tone as to how they take that loss, learn from it, go into the next game, and perform better. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Now, the other thing I wanted to touch base on was John Fox and the Panther organization. Some people will say Fox is giving this guy too much leeway, and a lot of people are calling for Bill Cowher to get off the couch and off the television screen. He's right down in Raleigh and drive down that 85 to Charlotte and run this team. Hey, I was seeing that a few years back. I'm kind of like this now. Some people say, well, why does he give him so much rope? And I've even heard the debate that if Jake was a black quarterback, he would have been on the bench. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm going to tell you the truth because it's the truth in sports. And I'll point out racism or racial differences or, those little biases wherever I see them. But in this case, it's just a matter of a coach being loyal to his guy. And it's sort of like Cordell Stewart and the coach everyone wants to bring in now for the Panthers, and Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher, he was committed to Cordell to a fault, man. Cordell had gotten to the AFC Championship game, And Coward, I mean, no, actually, I think Cordell played in the Super Bowl. And Coward couldn't forget that. I mean, he couldn't let that thing go, man. So he was loyal to Cordell to a point of almost losing his job. And some people look at Fox and say, well, Fox need to be out. I was somewhat in that corner, but now I think about it, you know, it took Cowher a while to win his first Super Bowl. And now he's considered one of the greatest coaches ever. And it may just be that it's taken Fox a while. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to an NFC Championship game. He's been to playoffs. And maybe it's just, you know, time. This year, I don't know. Next year, maybe so. But maybe Fox does need a little more time. And he'll prove to be a great coach. But that loyalty factor, hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him. Because if Jake doesn't perform well this week, then for me, I'm like, Jake, hey, it's been good. You can be a backup, but we'll have to get a better quarterback in there. Right now, there's not a better quarterback on the roster, but I have to get a quarterback from somewhere. We can't go into, if Jake can't do it this season, we can't go into next season with doubts at the quarterback position. Bring in a veteran and then draft somebody for the future. Hey, I'm giving you my take on the Carolina Panthers, hometown team. There's a lot of chatter. Things weren't pretty last week, but I think they'll do better this week against Atlanta. Hopefully they will. If not, it may be bye-bye for Jake. Look, I'm giving the truth in sports. Mike James, I'm out.